Hey everybody, welcome to my Suburban Oasis. My name's Soleil and I garden in mid-Michigan in a zone 5B. I've got some garden goodies that I've gotten recently that I want to share with you, so we'll take a look at those. Some plants, some pots, some garden cloches, and then we'll take a hot, quick look around the garden and see what's coming up right now because we've got a lot of things that have just broken through the ground and it's fun to see what's blooming and what's coming up and turning green for us. So first I want to start out with some hellebores. You all know I love my hellebores, but I also want a little bit more variety. So I thought I would buy some more this year, and they came in the mail the other day, which is always fun. This one is called a hellebore peppermint ice. And we'll try to get a picture for you so you can see that as well and put that in. This gets about 22 inches tall and about 24 inches wide. Hellebores are awesome because they stay pretty much evergreen and they are really hardy. They enjoy shade. They will even grow in fairly dry shade, so they're a really tough perennial, and it's just something that I think provides a lot of winter interest, and they bloom super early. So this is going to be beautiful. And then the next one is Wedding Party. This one is called Maid of Honor. And the reason why I really like this one is because it's a double flowerer. It has double flowers. So it's really, really pretty. And I'm looking forward to seeing this one bloom next year. Again, these could grow in full shade, part sun. So a pretty versatile flower, and also the foliage stays really green almost all year round. Now some of these are bigger than others. I'm hoping that these are a couple of years old because I know for certain that this one will not be able to bloom this year. Hopefully it will bloom next spring, but I'm not sure. So hopefully there'll be plenty of time though for it to really grow on this year. This is the Helleboris Painted Double. This one was really pretty. All of these grow about 24 inches wide, but this one's about 14 inches tall, so a little bit shorter. You can tell most of these actually have their roots coming out the bottom, so they're really ready to be planted out. I am just waiting right now until we get through this really big cold snap that's coming our way tonight. It's going to be about 25 degrees, so pretty much a hard freeze. So I'm keeping these in a little protected place. This is the Phoebe hellebore. I also thought this one was really beautiful and was just drawn to it. So I have 4 new varieties this year that I'm super excited to see what they look like next year in my garden. All right, let's check out some other flowers that I just got. So this is a viola, which is really like a very small pansy, but I like them better because I feel like they're a little bit more versatile. I also like pansies as well, but these just do better in cold weather, and I find that they come back more often or self-seed in my area. So this is a penny purple picotee viola. Try saying that 10 times. And it's really good in sun to part shade. And this one is going to be 6 inches tall by 6 inches wide. So it's going to get a little bit bigger. I bought a whole flat of these and they come in a 4-pack. So I'm really looking forward to getting these in the garden so I have something to show some color. And I'm going to be planting these out again, just waiting until we get past this really hard freeze tonight. Another viola that I got that I thought was gorgeous, you guys probably know I like purple a lot in my garden. This is Penny Beaconsfield, again a viola. And something neat that a lot of people don't know is you can actually eat the flowers on violas, so that's kind of cool. Again, these stay really small, 4 to 6 inches tall and wide, but they make a really beautiful accent. And I think these just go really well together. The next ones that I have here are a little bit of a different color. These are called Mammoth Pink Berry. So they have a bit of a pinkish, purplish, maroon kind of velvety look, I think. And I think that's just beautiful. Just really drawn to those, as well as kind of a little bit of veining as they get older. So they show different colors. And again, the Mammoth Pink Berry, this one gets a little bit bigger than the violas, so 6 to 8 inches tall and wide. These are good, as I said, for cold weather, but they don't like a freeze. So these along with the violas. are going to be waiting until after today. They do like to be dead-headed, so as you see them kind of fading, or even if they don't look that great, you just pinch them back at the very bottom. This one here you can see is a very, very dark purple. In fact, this one is called Delta Premium Pure Violet. And this just reminds me of a purple velvet. It just looks like something that I want to rub my finger or my face on because it looks so soft and beautiful. So I think all of these look really pretty together and are going to make my window boxes look so cute. And also I have some pots here on the porch that I have Japanese ferns in, and these look so beautiful with them, with the ferns growing through the pansies and the violas. So I'm going to put these back in the trays and we'll show you what they all look like together because I think it's going to make a really gorgeous combination. As many of you know, watching my channel, I've spent some time on Facebook Marketplace finding wonderful things. Well, this time it's not Facebook Marketplace, but my husband found an estate sale that was going on nearby, and they were getting rid of some planters at some decent prices. They were pretty highly marked at first, but the person who was selling them decided to give us a 50% discount because they were getting towards the end of the sale. So I managed to get this rectangle planter and these two square planters, which I absolutely think are going to be gorgeous. They're concrete planters. If you've ever shopped for those, you know how expensive they can be, and I really lucked out over the last couple of years in terms of getting some really nice statement pieces that are made out of concrete for decent prices. So I think I paid $80 for all four of these. Isn't that a great deal? I just love the details that are on the side of these. Isn't it gorgeous? Kind of the scrolling really goes well with a lot of the other accessories that I have in my garden. I love curved lines. So I wasn't quite sure about getting square planters at first, but because of those kind of swirls on the sides and the details on these, I think they will look lovely and go really well with some of my trellises and some of my other pots as well. The garden is really starting to look great, but I'm also still trying to fend off some rabbits. And so, as you know, I've got some garden cloches that are bell-shaped from Gardener's Supply Company, and I've been using those to help protect the tulips and other types of things that are growing on, like in my veggie garden, to keep the rabbits from eating them completely. And I think they've done a really good job, but they're fairly expensive. They are usually $25 each. You can get them for a little bit less if you buy them in bulk, but I think you can only get them down to about $22 each. It's really windy right now, you guys, so I apologize if you're getting a lot of wind noise. In addition to them being about $22 each, the extension that you see on the bottom here that makes them a little bit taller and wider actually adds on even more to the price, so they can get rather pricey. They're really high quality though, and I think they're going to last for a really long time, so they are a good investment, and I do really love the shape of them. However, that being said, I have been on the lookout for something that's similar that I can use, and so I actually found some at Lowe's that are a little bit different shape, and they actually have feet that kind of spike down into the ground. Now these, after opening them, I would say are not quite as high quality. They do have some areas on them where you can tell that they've bent the chicken wire in order to, kind of keep it all together. But I think that they look pretty lovely, and they are made out of that metal that will last for years, I think, no matter what. So I'm really happy with them, and I just thought I would share them with you as well. I got these again through Lowe's. I got them online, and I spent, I think they were about $115 for 12 of them. So they were just under $10 a piece, which is a much better price for the wallet. And I'm even thinking about getting one more order of them because of the number of tulips and other things that the bunnies really like to eat in my yard. These are also a little bit of a different shape. Obviously you can tell they're a little bit skinnier, so they're not quite as big, but they are a little bit taller than the other bell cloches that don't have the bottom. And the other thing that you can do is, because they have spikes, you can have them like an inch off the ground if you want to not push the spikes all the way down. I am guessing that you probably could also use some metal clippers or tin snips if you didn't like having those spikes on the bottom. But I think this is a really good alternative that is a little less costly. So if you're interested in them, again, Lowe's.com, I thought it was a really good deal. You can see I've got them throughout my garden, covering some of the tulips, but I do still have plenty of tulips that are not covered by them. We've got some alliums coming up back there. The heucheras are actually starting to begin to show some color and some new growth. And right now these two barberries, these are the limoncello barberries, they're starting to leaf out. They're so pretty, these little new leaves, the new growth on them. Now, as I said, we're getting a really cold snap coming here, and so I'm actually really happy that the majority of the plants in my garden have not really come out or flowered. For example, this daffodil here, it's so pretty, but I'm really glad that they aren't all flowering, because if they're in buds tonight, they might just be okay. I might still have really good luck with them still blooming. So here's an example of a tulip that was not covered by a cloche, and it's been nibbled on by the rabbits. They have thoroughly enjoyed my garden this year. But also you can see how some of these bell cloches with their very wide bottoms don't really fit as well amongst the rocks and different things that I could use those taller, skinnier cloches for. So I think it's really good to have multiple options and multiple sizes, and that they will serve me well over time. Aren't these little teeny tiny daffodils just so cute? These were part of a woodland blend that I got from Color Blends last year. And they are just poking up here as well as over my back hill. And a beautiful mix of crocuses, which are not in full bloom yet. But these are, I believe, called Co-Creation, and it's a mix of these deep purple and very vibrant yellow. I just think the juxtaposition of those two colors and the contrast along with those striped stems is so pretty. If we take a peek at the back hill here, you can see some of those beautiful little yellow flowers. We've got winter's wolfbane. We've got those little daffodils growing up back there. Here we have that beautiful blue scilla, also called Siberian squill. I hope this continues to naturalize. It normally does, and that I have a blanket of blue flowers eventually. Here you can see all of the lungwort is really ready to bloom. These are the pretty in pink, and this one right here has a bud that is starting to open. But just like the daffodils, I'm really glad that they haven't fully started to open yet, because I want to see all of them, and I think if they were starting to open, you would see all the flowers killed off by the freeze tonight. Last year I planted Brunnera for the first time in the garden, and here it is just starting to come up with its very fuzzy leaves. The beautiful fuzzy leaves of this lungwort are also coming up. I can't recall if this one is moonshine or if it is the samurai, but they are both gorgeous. Very silvery foliage. My lemony lace elderberry is starting to put out some of its buds as well, both some of the very cute leaves as well as the buds for the flowers. And when these first start, they're this very deep color, but then they turn into this yellow and lime green. And the blooms are not super significant, but they are pretty to look at. The bleeding heart is getting much bigger. And again, I'm really glad that it's not too tall because I think it's going to be happier this short when it gets so cold tonight. I've told you I've been hardening off some of my seedlings, and even those I am not even going to leave in my outdoor mini greenhouse. I'm actually going to bring those inside tonight because I just don't want them to freeze and die. Some really cute little chard seedlings that are coming up, and some foxglove and some other things that I winter sowed as well. So these are more lungwort, all just popping through the leaves. And I'm also glad I haven't cleaned up the leaves yet because they will add a little bit of protection to the really severe cold that we're getting tonight. But you can see things are really greening up around here. Lots of daffodils getting close to blooming. Lots of tulips getting ready to bloom. I'll give you a little update over here on my lettuce seedlings. They're looking really good. I might put a frost blanket over these tonight just to help to protect them. But it has gotten down to 30 overnight last night, so I know they are very cold hardy already. You can see I've covered up some more of my lettuce with these cloches. And if I want to make them a different color, I can also do that. I haven't decided if I want to try to make all of the cloches match or if I'm good with them the way they are. You can see my peas that I planted have really poked out of the ground and are working their way up. I think after tonight, when we get this really cold, things are going to get much better. We're going to have a couple of nights where it's in the low 30s after tonight. And then starting next Wednesday night, we will probably be in the clear for quite some time. I don't know if you can see those little buds down in the Virginia, but those are also getting ready to flower. And there are buds even on the ajuga. I can't wait to see these. I didn't get to see them flower last year. I just bought them when they were foliage and then I divided them. Here's another bud on the Virginia getting ready to bloom. And then plenty of sedum is just pushing through. There's some violets that are back there. Those are so pretty, along with that squill. Well, I hope things are beginning to pop up in your neck of the woods and that you're starting to see some green growth and that spring is on its way for you. It certainly hasn't felt like spring much lately, but it is definitely here and on its way. Thanks for joining me today, and we'll see you next time. Bye!